And now it is time for the IBJJF Absolute Grand Prix final. This will be a 10-minute match. Reintroducing the athlete in the blue gi, weighing in at 224.6 pounds and fighting out of San Diego, California, representing Atos Jiu-Jitsu, Kaynan Duarte.
We are back here for the most anticipated match of the evening, the finals of our Absolute Grand Prix. First out here is Kaynan Duarte, reigning world champion in the blue gi.
And reintroducing the athlete in the white gi, weighing in at 241 pounds, fighting out of Salvador, Brazil, and representing GF Team, Gutemberg Pereira.
And there we see Gutemberg Pereira, owner of 2 submissions tonight. Flawless run, meeting another competitor who looks absolutely incredible in Kaynan Duarte. Man, I can't wait. They've had such dominant wins so far tonight. You know, he's going to come out on top in this one.
Here we have the tail of tape of our Absolute division. We have Kaynan Duarte, 24 years old, 6 foot tall, 224.6. Gutenberg, 29, 6'4", 241, about a 15-pound difference, and we are ready to rock and roll. Man, couldn't have asked for a better dream matchup, in my opinion, here on the finals of our Absolute Grand Prix. What a pleasure to be watching these guys go at it. Like we said, about a 15-pound difference separates them. So when looking at their dominant performances at the World Championships, obviously they did not meet, but now we get to see these 2 world finalists together here today. What I like about both of these guys, you can see right away, is their precision is on point. So we have some big movements, but nothing is not calculated. Looks like there's it almost looks like they're scanning each other, right? Kind of like looking at the position, scanning, seeing what the intention might be, seeing holes, seeing where they might be able to make some advantages happen.
Gutenberg with a very powerful grip on that pant there, that pant leg. What am I going to say there? On the pants of Kaynan Duarte. He does not want to give that up, because you do not want to give Kaynan Duarte open space, right? That's what he thrives in, is if you look to reset, that's when he moves forward and closes the space so quickly.
Yeah, and you think of like pant cuff, right? That's a thing. Yeah. He like moves the pant cuff past and throws legs across, and he was almost in there on a diving pass, but now inverting. Gutenberg here has a grip on Kaynan's pants.
He had a look at the back, but Kaynan craftily avoids that, comes back on top, and now is in a pretty good position to start enacting some passing here.
Interesting switch to attacking that top foot there for a moment, and then now back into his knee cut.
Pode zimar essa perna também, cara. Se zimar a perna, ele não sobe. Já que ele te joga pra cima o tempo todo.
Nice elevation there to avoid some danger. Gutenberg, and very, very agile here, rolls through to maintain good position, comes back to the feet, and resets neutrally with nothing on the board. And, you know, we're a little over 2 minutes into the match, so I think it's fair to say that these guys are into their feeling out period, maybe through their feeling out period. Calculations are still going to happen, but I think we may see a little bit more of a quick openings up now. Saw Gutenberg there with a smile on his face, a little bit of acknowledgement between these guys. Like this grip that Kaynan has on his left side. He has a nice grip on the back of the armpit. A little bit of a shot there from Gutenberg, but not quite able to get in with a lot of depth. Switches to the belt, which leads Kaynan to pull it right into a sweep. Kaynan coming up on top. Hasn't scored yet, but now we do see the 2 points.
Look at Gutenberg fighting to get up, though. He's not accepting in on a single leg.
I mean, that was a desperate attempt to come up by Gutenberg, and he still is trying to sit through and come up, but kind of doing such a good job maintaining top position.
Beautiful sweep from Kaynan.
Yeah, I think a very smart strategy for Gutenberg to come right into single leg X to keep that positioning with Kaynan right in that mid-level, because again, with Kaynan, you don't want him far where he's creating space, he's doing big Toyono style passing, but you don't want him close in his smash passing positions. We know he's very dominant there, so I think Gutenberg's best bet here is to be in more of a single leg X style position where he can keep enough space while looking for his own tacks, like his own sweeps and things of that nature. See the referee watching closely here too on Gutenberg's left leg, making sure it's not passing over the center line, which would be reaping and would be obviously an illegal position here for Gutenberg. So being very careful to keep that left leg in good position. Although now with that lapel over, actually I think could make it a little more difficult to keep that leg out of danger.
Yeah, interesting use there of tying up the lapel, hoping to slow down Kaynan any way he can. Of course, now the onus is on Gutenberg to make up those 2 points. Somehow, some way, he's got a nice grip at the pants that he opts to release there. And maybe go back to the well after he makes a grip adjustment with the lapel, it seems.
Yeah, Kaynan doing a great job here, keeping a very strong base. He notice he keeps his left knee on the ground, so he has a wide base, but at the same time not standing up onto his feet where he would be at a little bit more of a risk to be elevated and maybe switch into a lot of sweep patterns for Gutenberg, because once that position gets going, or the toe hold like we saw a look at just for a moment, once that position gets going, it is very difficult to regain your balance with someone as talented as Gutenberg. So even though there's a slow to the action, I think Kaynan's patience here is really going to pay off. See Gutenberg really now using that left leg to pressure into the bicep of Kaynan, hoping to further off balance him. And again, Kaynan not rushing through this position at all. Kind of looking up, checking the score, checking the time, and knowing that if he does pop up to his foot too soon, that this could become a very dangerous position. And we see now that was probably the best look Gutenberg had at a sweep. Knocked Kaynan down to his butt, but Kaynan able to pop right back up. And both athletes awarded 1 penalty each for inactivity. I find that an interesting call to make right after the sweep attempt, right? But it kind of happened all at the same time, right? So definitely the referee was already kind of counting that time down as the sweep started to transpire. Some more interesting lapel work here from Gutenberg. He has the lapel wrapped around the ankle and the foot, but now passed through the back of Kaynan's leg, locked into his left hand, which is also keeping Kaynan's right foot locked in that foot lock grip under the armpit. So everything very, very secure on Gutenberg's left side, Kaynan's right side, which begs the question of what's going to happen on the right side of the body, right, or the right side of Gutenberg's body, because when you're talking about off-balancing your opponent to look for a sweep, we're going to have to address that right side. And I think he was about to do that right as there was a penalty called. He was reaching through underneath to grab the pant leg with his right hand. I would say this is maybe the time where Kaynan is going to have to start considering those penalties, because if it were deemed that he is being inactive and Gutenberg is not, we would see a change on the scoreboard, right? Because the next penalty would put 2 points in Gutenberg's favor, and that would definitely change the trajectory of things. So Kaynan may look to be a little bit more active here in these last 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
Trabalha no erro dele, tá, Kaynan?
2 minutos. Vai se abrir, vai errar.
Gutenberg definitely staying very active here, trying to continue knocking Kaynan down. He's not scoring off it, but what he is doing is ideally in his mind staying away from being called for a penalty. And almost up now there was Gutenberg for a moment. But a big transition for Kaynan too, leading into a pass.
And that's what Kaynan does. He's so patient. It can be very frustrating for the player on bottom. And then he finds an opening and gets exactly where he wants to be.
That was a very interesting position because he has Gutenberg kind of trapped in this twisted position. You see Gutenberg kind of nodding with frustration because Kaynan has his arm behind the head, almost like similar to feeling like a half Nelson, right? And has that far arm wrapped up. If Gutenberg turns away, exposes his back, and he really can't turn towards Kaynan because of the position of Kaynan's right arm. Only 1 minute left on the clock here, and I think, just like you said earlier, Chase, we're going to see a lot of Kaynan's patience reintroduced here once again in this position. He does not need to rush. He is definitely in the dominant position, and Gutenberg is going to be forced to move. Scores an advantage for his efforts there. 2 advantages, it seems, and back in his passing position with 40 seconds left on the clock.
That moment's pretty devastating for Gutenberg, as even a sweep will not tie things. He's going to really have to sell out for a submission here.
It looks like that's what he's looking for here, Chase, trying to extend that ankle as much as he can.
As mentioned, he's got to watch that left foot. It's being looked at very closely by a referee.
10 seconds left here. Looks like Kaynan will be our first ever Absolute Grand Prix champion.
There you have it. Kaynan Duarte takes that match by 2 points and 3 advantages. Very strong showing there. Once the score turned in his favor, there was no going backward for Kaynan.
Your winner and IBJJF Absolute Grand Prix champion is Kaynan Duarte, representing Octos Jiu-Jitsu.
There you have it. Kaynan Duarte takes home the prize, becomes our first absolute champion here. Some of the best moments from this match. We see Kaynan Duarte on top here, looking to negotiate the crafty guard of Gutenberg. And Gutenberg made things pretty interesting. But Kaynan is so precise, really makes no mistakes. Even in these crazy exchanges that are pretty unorthodox, Kaynan finds a way to get to his dominant positions, score some points. And we'll hear from our winner in Kendall Rusing.
All right, Kaynan Duarte, congratulations. Man, you have had an incredible year here, winning the first ever Absolute Grand Prix that in existence, right? What does it mean to you to win the very first one? Obviously, you had a world championship this year, and now adding this on top.
Wow, I just had so many feelings. Feels like it was yesterday. I think it was 2017. I was watching my professor, André Galvão, fighting against big names like Leandro Lô. Bochecha was in Grand Prix. I was watching. I was a brown belt, and now I'm here, like winning the Grand Prix. It's amazing.
Man, so I think it's really significant to point out that you are one of only 2 athletes to win the GI Worlds and the ADCC in the same year, and now coming here and winning the Grand Prix. When you think about your future and what's next, you've won 3 of the biggest events of all time. What's next for you?
I want to keep winning. I want to keep improving my jiu-jitsu. I'm very lucky because I have my professor, André Galvão. He achieved everything in jiu-jitsu, so I think it's easier for me to come here in the big stage because he helped me a lot.
And lastly, do you want to add anything in Portuguese for all the fans watching?
Claro, eu quero agradecer a toda a minha família, meus amigos aí no Brasil. Ganhei mais um título. I also want to thank you, IBJJF, for having me here. I'm so lucky for being able to compete in this big stage. All my sponsor, Brunão, providing me the best gi, King's kimonos, and Ruka for my clothes. And yeah, just happy and very grateful to be here.
Amazing. Congratulations. Thanks for putting on such an amazing show. And that is it for us tonight, guys. We will be back soon with another event, but Kaynan Duarte is our champion tonight.
Just a little thing also. Congratulations for Gutenberg. When I told him, he was feeling very strong. Usually, I always feel he's stronger than my opponents, but this time, I'm not gonna lie, he was feeling like stronger than me. That's why I have to play strategy. I think one thing that I have in my mindset, if someone is stronger than me, have more guys, I always find a way to win. So that's what makes the difference.
Amazing. Well, it definitely made the difference tonight. Congratulations again, and we'll be back with you soon.
Congratulations to our absolute champion, Kaynan Duarte. Goes home with the medal and $40,000. Richard, amazing achievement there.